A warm welcome to all the viewers for the course Advanced Manufacturing Technology AME 702. Myself Thiapal, Assistant Professor of Department of Mechanical Engineering, JIS College of Engineering, and today I am going to give a brief lecture on the working principle of plasma arc machining. Well, this is also one of the advanced technology that has been preferred for non-traditional machining process. And the term plasma itself denote that plasma beam or the plasma arc we are using to melt or vaporize the material and to perform the operation. So, why we are going for the non-conventional machining? It is very important for us to know about it. Because the machining that cannot be done to some material by conventional method, so that type of material are machined with the help of non-traditional machining. And one of the non-traditional machining or non-conventional machining process is also plasma arc machining. So without any further delay, let's have a look at the content. So initially we are talking about the introduction, that is introduction of plasma. What is plasma? So we are going to have a look for the plasma. Next is the generation of plasma, how plasma is basically generated. Next we will be discussing about the process, we will be discussing about the equipment, and in this lecture we will be covering up the introduction about plasma, generation of plasma and the process. Obviously some equipment will be discussed. Now this plasma arc machining, this particular lecture will contain two parts. One, in the first part that I have mentioned, that will be consisting of, and second part of this particular lecture we will be discussing about the parametric influence of plasma arc machining function or the performance. And next we will be discussing about the process capability, application, advantage and disadvantages of this particular process. As you know, every process has got some advantages also, some disadvantages also. Okay, so without any further delay, let's move to the next slide. So before we proceed with the introduction of plasma arc machining, now what is the aim of this particular topic? I mean to say why we have selected today for this particular lecture. Basically our aim is to provide an insight on advanced manufacturing processes. Next, our aim is also to provide details on why we need plasma arc machining in advanced manufacturing technology. And of course, we are going to discuss about it characteristic. Now, what are the expected outcomes from this particular lecture? First of all, the learner will be able to know about advanced manufacturing technology. Secondly, the learner will be able to identify the role of advanced manufacturing technology in today's scenario. Now, what are the other related information that basically we are delivering from this lecture? First of all, the student must have some basic idea of conventional machining and manufacturing. And obviously, the student must have some fundamental knowledge about the material. So without their help, it is not possible for us to go with this particular content. Well, plasma arc machining. Now, if at a room temperature, gases generally are made up of molecule, usually consisting of two or more atoms. And if this gas temperature is heated to around 2000 degrees Celsius, the molecule will dissociate into separate atom. And if the temperature is further raised to around 3000 degrees Celsius, then electron from some atom will be displaced. And atoms are ionized, basically electrically charged, and that's why it is getting ionized. And in this condition, the gas is termed as plasma. So this term plasma, you can see what a history is there behind it. First of all, At a room temperature, if we consider a gas which is basically made up of molecules which consisting of two or more atoms, and if this gas temperature is heated around 2000 degrees Celsius, the molecule will dissociate into separate atoms. And if the temperature is further raised to around 3000 degrees Celsius, then electrons from some atom will be displaced. Atoms are ionized, that is electrically charged, and in this condition, the gas is termed as plasma. So isn't it interesting that what is plasma? Because plasma arc measuring, when we are talking, we are just saying that plasma arc is used to remove the material. But how, from where the plasma is generated, we are not aware of the fact. So nothing. It is the heating of the gas to a certain temperature, and that particular gas is known as the plasma. Now, if we go for the introduction of plasma, then one thing it has been told that plasma arc machining that we are using, it is a material removal process. And the material removal takes place by directing a high velocity of jet of high temperature. Now see what is the temperature boundation that has been provided here. That is 11,000 to 30,000 degrees Celsius. Just have a look, 11,000 to 30,000 degrees Celsius. And this is termed as ionized gas on workpiece. Now, narrow plasma jet melts the workpiece material in its path. Now, with the high temperature involved, it can be used for any material, those resistance to oxy-fuel gas cutting. So, these also can be kept into the notice. Now, if I work about the principle of plasma arc machining, then the first point that comes in my mind, or that comes according to the reference of the topic, that is plasma arc machining processes uses ionized plasma to transfer heat. So there is no doubt that we are using plasma to transfer heat, and that is also ionized plasma. Now the plasma is obtained by forcing a gas through an electric arc generated between cathode, that is the hot tungsten, and anode, either water-cooled nozzle device which is usually made up of copper or workpiece material. Now if I ask you that what are the effect of constricting electric arc in plasma device, there must be some effect, isn't it? And our aim is to know what are the effect of constricting electric arc in plasma device. First of all, temperature of the ionized gas is increased. Second, the heat is focused into a fine flow of gas. Third, beam is almost parallel. Fourth, velocity is also increased. And if I talk about the mechanism of material removal, then it is very simple. It is heating and melting by high temperature plasma. And the most important thing is that removal of melted material by high velocity plasma jet itself. So from this particular introduction, you are very clear about what is plasma and what is plasma arc machining. Now let's have a look at this particular point. What is plasma? It is none other than mixture of free electron, that is positively charged ion, and neutral atom. So you have to remember by the terms that is, it is a mixture of electrons, positively charged ions, and neutral atoms. And it is obtained by heating the gas at a high temperature so that it is partially ionized. Okay, basically we are heating the gas at a high temperature so that it is partially ionized. Next, the central zone of the plasma reaches a temperature of 1500 degrees Celsius and it is completely ionized. Now the thing is that heating of gas takes place in restricted region of the nozzle duct and thus resulting in the high velocity gas at the exit. So you can see this is the portion where we are putting the in, this is the outlet, this is the plasma, this is the anode, okay, and this is the cathode, and you can see it is getting generated the plasma and it is getting ejected, and there is a workpiece over which the plasma rays has been focused. Okay. Now the generation of plasma we are discussing. So, generation of plasma. Heating the gas to high temperature to ionize the gas in a popular method for generating plasma. And the two commonly method that is used is by applying suitable electric field across the gas column, and second is by exposing gas column to radiation. Now if you have a look at the temperature, then what you are seeing it here, just have a look. Temperature that is in Fahrenheit. First temperature what we are using is 17,000 to 25,000. Of which portion? That is the pink portion somehow. If we are talking about 25,000 to 32,000 degree Fahrenheit, where the temperature is in this particularly yellow zone. Okay, this particularly yellow zone. And if you talk about 32,000 to 43,000, then this is this particular area. Just have a look at this particular area. And 43,000 to 50,000, it is in this particular area. So you can see the variation of the temperature in the plasma. So this yellow zone that is represent here, this yellow zone temperature varies between 25,000 degree Fahrenheit to 32,000 degree Fahrenheit. This color, this orange zone, that is 17,000 to 25,000. And this, as you are getting inside this particular zone, it is 32,000 to 43,000. And finally this one as 43,000 to 50,000. Now, when the gases are heated, what are the things that are occurring, or what are the things it can occur? First of all, elastic and inelastic collisions between the atom will occur. Next, ionization of gases will take place, resulting in production of electrons and ion. So when the gases are heated, the following things can occur. First of all, that is elastic and inelastic collisions between the atom. Second, that is occurring, that is the ionization of gas will take place, resulting in production of electrons and ion. And third, the electron collide with atoms. It will create high temperature, thermal, kinetic energy of the atom. Further, collision produce ion and electron. Thus, new matter or new material, which is called plasma, is characterized. And this is by the ability to conduct electricity. Due to the presence of free charge is produced. Now just have a look how the process is occurring. Okay, so just have a look here. Gas are heated and charged to plasma state. Now this plasma state is nothing but the superheated and electrically ionized gas at approximately 5000 degrees Celsius. And these gases are directed on the workpiece in the form of high velocity stream. Now what are the gases that has been used? Hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen. What are the gases that have been used? Again I am repeating, hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen. So plasma can be used for cutting, welding and spraying. And if you look at this particular figure, then you can see there is a cutting power supply. Okay, this black, this is the insulator. Here it has been told. This is the electrode and this is this particular thing. This is the cathode block. And you can see this is the workpiece. And you can see this plasma, it is getting ejected and it is impinged over the workpiece. And the machining operation is performed. So the machining operation is performed in this particular manner. Now, plasma basically is a high temperature, or you can say it is a high temperature ionized gas. And plasma arc machining is done with a high speed jet of a high temperature plasma. Now the plasma jet heats up the workpiece where the jet impinges on it, causing a quick melting. Now plasma can be used on all material which conduct electricity, including those which are resistant to oxy-fuel gas cutting. Now this process is extensively used for profile cutting of stainless steel, monel and superalloy plates. A plasma is generated by subjecting a following gas to the electron bombarding of an arc. And for this, the arc is set up between the electrode and the anodic nozzle. So you can see this is your anodic nozzle. Okay, you can see this is the anodic nozzle. Now, the high velocity electron, you can see there are high velocity electron that is present in the arc. Now this high velocity electron of the arc collide with the gas molecules, which causes a dislocation of the diatomic molecules or atoms into ions and electrons, resulting in a substantial increase in the conductivity of the gas, which is now in the plasma state. Now the free electrons subsequently accelerate and cause more ionization and heating. Afterward, a further increase in temperature takes place when the ions and free electrons recombine into atom, or when the atom recombine with the molecule, as these are exothermic processes. So a high temperature plasma is generated, which is forced through the nozzle in the form of jet, and the mechanism of material removal is totally based on heating and melting, and secondly it is removal of molten metal by blasting action of plasma jet. So from this particular you are very clear how the process is occurring. Basically, again I am repeating, a plasma is generated by subjecting a following gases to the electron bombardment of an arc, and for this the arc is set up between the electrode and the anodic nozzle, and the gas is forced to flow through this arc. The high velocity electrons of the arc collide with the gas molecules, causing a dislocation of the diatomic molecules or atoms into ions and electrons, which resulting in a substantial increase in conductivity of the gas, which is now in the plasma state. Now the free electrons subsequently accelerate and cause more ionization and heating. Later on, a further increase of temperature takes place when the ion and free electrons recombine into atom, or when the atom recombine into molecule, as these are exothermic processes. So, a high temperature plasma is generated, which is forced through the nozzle in the form of a jet. The mechanics of material removal is also based on heating of melting, and secondly it depends on removal of molten metal by the blasting action of plasma jet. So from here, from this particular figure, the process is also very clear to all of you. Now let's have a look at the equipment. So what I was telling, that there is a DC power supply. This is your plasma and this is your workpiece. And you can see water-cooled nozzle has been provided. This blue color, it has been mentioned as water-cooled because the heat generated inside this particular thing, it is very high. Because the temperature of the plasma is also very high. Okay, and you can see the plasma gas has been ejected here. And this red color thing you are getting, that is nothing but other than tungsten electrode. And it has been covered with a shielding gas nozzle. The entire setup has been covered by shielding gas nozzle. So you can see the workpiece has been there. Plasma, it is getting ejected here. Okay, it is getting ejected here. And the material is getting removed in the form of melting and vaporization. And with the help of this blast of plasma, it is getting removed from here also. So what are the equipment that considered here? Power supply, which has to be between 1000 ampere to 2000 ampere to 2000 volt you are going to use, that is the DC volt. Gas supply should be between 1.4 megapascal and cooling water system must be there. And control console and plasma torch is also used. So these are the basic equipment that you are using. So again I am repeating the figure description. DC power supply is there. Water cooled nozzle is there. Tungsten electrode is there. Shielding gas nozzle is there. Plasma gas is getting ejected. And here in this particular portion, shielding gas has been ejected. So this is the setup for plasma arc machining. So if I have a particular glance at the equipment, then I can see that electrical power supply, basically direct current generator has been preferred. Gas supply is also provided. Cooling water supply is also there. Plasma generator is also associated. Work handling device and servo mechanism for this control also is there. Machine tool which can withstand high temperature is also provided. And there must be protection against the heat and the radiation too. Now if we talk about the operating parameters, then power voltage, as you can see power voltage, the value should vary between 20 to 200 kilowatts. The voltage should vary between 50 to 200 volt. And electric current, it should vary between 200 to 2000 ampere. Now if I talk about the plasma gas, here you can see gas supply has been told. Gas supply has been told. So if I talk about the gases, if I talk about argon and hydrogen, then the mixture ratio should be 65 to 35, 65-35 mixture. ठीक है. If I go with the nitrogen and hydrogen, then 80% nitrogen, 20% hydrogen. If I go with nitrogen and oxygen, the mixture should be 80-20. And what should be the flow rate? The flow rate should vary between 2 to 12 meter cube per hour. So, what are the gases we have selected for plasma? Plasma gases, first of all, iron and argon and hydrogen. The mixture ratio should be 65 argon, 35 hydrogen, so 100%. Now, if I talk about nitrogen and hydrogen, 80%, 20%. If I talk about nitrogen and oxygen, same 80-20, but the range of the flow rate, it should vary between 2 to 12 meter cube per hour, and the velocity of plasma jet should vary between 500 meter per second. Now, if I talk about operating parameter, then I must say, first of all, we have told that electrode material is there. So for electrode material, we will be preferring tungsten. Another, we will be preferring copper, hafnium or zirconium in your plasma machining. And if we talk about the diameter of the nozzle orifice, you can see the nozzle. So if I talk about the diameter of the nozzle orifice, then 1.5 to 8 millimeter is preferred. Now plasma intensity, that is maximum heat transfer rate. For non-transferred arc, it should vary between 6.87 kilojoule per centimeter cube per second, and for transferred it should be between 24.53 kilojoule per centimeter cube per second. Now this transferred and non-transferred we are talking. Why? Because these are the classification. Plasma arc machining are basically, they are two types of device. One is arc is generated between the electrode and workpiece, then it is called transferred arc, and it is known as plasma arc machining. And if the arc is generated within the device, that is the torch, and only ionized gas is emitted, then it is called non-transferred arc, which is also known as plasma jet machining. So plasma arc machining and plasma jet machining. Arc machining means transferred arc and non-transferred arc means plasma jet machining. So just we have a look at the power supply. So power supply, what you are using? You are using a DC power supply. Next, the power supply should have saturation current, and beyond which the current should not raise even for short circuit. So this has to be kept in mind. Now for easy ignition and maintenance of arc, OCV must be higher than the load value. And normally DC motor generator setup or transducer control rectifier unit with saturable core reactor are basically used, or you can say this is basically preferred. So you have to keep this point in your mind while selecting the power supply. Now we will be talking about the gas supply. So any gas that should not attack the tungsten electrode or the workpiece, that gas should be preferred. And the following pressure can be up to 1.4 megapascal, which result in plasma velocity of 100 meter per second. Now higher the gas flow rate, higher the momentum of the plasma jet. Next, higher the flow rate, which helps to remove the molten material from the molten zone. Next, carbon alloy and cast steel are cut with the mixture of nitrogen and hydrogen, that is the compressed air. For stainless steel, aluminium and other non-ferrous alloy, basically argon, nitrogen and hydrogen is preferred. Now the gas flow rate are between 2 to 11 meter cube per hour, and it is controlled by using the mass flow controller. Now let's have a look for plasma torch. In plasma arc machining, the electric arc basically constricts from nozzle, generates basic plasma jet, and instead of diverging into open arc, the nozzle constrict arc into a small cross section. Now the plasma arc are classified into arc plasma torch, dual gas plasma torch, oxygen injected plasma torch, water injected plasma torch. So again I am repeating, we are using plasma arc. Okay, so when we are using plasma arc, that means it is a transferable arc. So what are the classification? Plasma, air plasma torch, dual gas plasma torch. Dual gas means plasma gas is also there, shielding gas is also there in the previous picture that I have showed you. And next is oxygen injected plasma torch. And last is water injected plasma torch. So now water injected plasma torch, you can see through this particular portion, coolant water is in, and from this particular portion you can see the water is out. So basically if I tell that this particular portion and this particular portion both are water tube. Electrode is this particular, this yellow portion is your electrode. Okay, this is the electrode. And this is your torch body. That orangish color, this is your torch body. And this is the nozzle. So the nozzle diameter has also been mentioned to you previously. Okay. So you have to maintain all this thing while you are performing the operation or when you are selecting the plasma torch. Now just look at this particular figure. Then every concept will be clear to you. We have told three types of plasma torch. Air plasma torch, dual gas plasma torch, water injected plasma torch. So images of this nozzle, you can see it is clear. This is workpiece for dual gas plasma torch. This is your electrode. It is connected to the cathode and workpiece is connected to the anode. This is the shield cup. Obviously it is a cup where you are holding the entire equipments. And this is the secondary gas, dual gas, isn't it? So this is the secondary gas, that is the shielding gas. And this is the cutting gas, that is the plasma gas. This is your nozzle. And you can see shielding gas is also there. Your plasma gas is also there. They are combining, they are getting heated and they are generating plasma, and this plasma is ejected over your workpiece. Now if I talk about the air plasma torch, it is very simple. This is your workpiece. Workpiece is always preferred for anode. This is your electrode. You can see it is connected to cathode. This is the copper material that has been used here. This is your nozzle, this outlet, you can see this is the nozzle, and oxygen gas is being passed through this particular section, and you can see this is the generation of plasma, and it has been ejected over the workpiece, and thus you can see the material removal is occurring. Now let's have a look for the water injected plasma torch. What you are saying, this is workpiece, it is connected towards anode, that is a positive terminal. The nozzle has been there and there is a ceramics support has been given, and through this very thin channel you can see, through this very thin channel the water Injection has been done. Water injection has been done. And this is the copper. Okay. And cutting gas, here nitrogen has been used. You can see this is the yellow color cutting gas. And electrode is this particular thing, this purple color. And you can see the flame of the plasma, or the plasma has been generated, and it has been ejected over the workpiece. It has been ejected over the workpiece, and the material is getting melted and it is removed. Now in the next slide, we will be discussing the method to stabilize the arc. We are aware that arc is generated, isn't it? And this plasma arc is basically melting your workpiece and the machining is performed. But along with this process, the most important thing is for us to know the method of stabilize of the arc. How you are going to stabilize the arc. So, plasma torch transfer electrical energy into thermal energy in the form of plasma jet. So, this is the main function of your plasma torch, which transfer electrical energy into thermal energy in the form of plasma jet. Now, it is important to stabilize the electric arc, which is burned in constricted space and forced away by the gas or fluid. It is important to stabilize the electric arc, which burns the constricted space and forced away by gas or liquid. And if liquid is used, then vapor is surrounded by the arc column. So this is the particular thing that is occurring, or it should be maintained to maintain the stabilized arc. So you can see here sheet stabilized, vortex stabilized and water stabilized. These are the three gas or liquid stabilized plasma torches. Okay, so what is the shield? It is known as wall or sheet stabilized. So you can see this is the electrode. You can see gases are passing here. This is the portion and this is the arc that has been generated. Next, vortex stabilized. That is, you can see here, this vortex shape, it is occurring here. You can see this one. This is the DC supply, everywhere DC supply is used. And liquid stabilized plasma, that is none other than water stabilized. So you can see this electrode is there. You can see this water has been supplied from this particular portion. And you can see this is the formation of the arc. So the stabilization is occurring here. So in the next slide, it's none other than thank you. Thank you for listening the entire working principle of plasma arc machining. Now what are the types of plasma basically we are using? We have discussed here. What is the mechanics of material removal? It is none other than melting. And what is the medium that we have used? It is plasma. Tool, what we are using, it is also plasma jet. What is the maximum temperature we are implementing for plasma arc machining? It is near about 16,000 degrees Celsius. Now at what maximum velocity of plasma jet basically we are ejecting? It is 500 meter per second. Maximum material removal rate that can occur, it is 150 centimeter cube per minute. Specific energy consumption, it is near about 1000 watt per centimeter cube per minute. If I talk about the power range, then it is 2 to 200 kilowatt. Now if I consider that what should be the maximum thickness of the plate, it can be up to 200 millimeter. That depends upon the material. Now if I ask the what is the cutting speed, then it will be 0.1 to 7.5 meter per minute. And if we talk about the voltage that we are basically using, it is near about 30 to 250 volt. Now what is the current we are preferring? It is up to 600 ampere. Now today in this part 1 lecture for plasma arc machining, we have already covered this entire portion. So in the part 2 of plasma arc machining lecture, we will be covering the various critical parameters that are affecting the machining process as well as on material removal rate. And of course, we'll be discussing all the critical parameters about the voltage, current, electrode gap, gas flow rate, nozzle dimension, melting temperature, everything. And already we have told that the material application, it is already for all conducting material, as well as shape application. It can be used for cutting plate also. But the problem with this particular process is the limitation. It is low accuracy. So please stay connected with me so that in the next lecture we can discuss about the critical process parameter, the material removal rate, the effect of process parameter in machining, the advantages and disadvantages of this particular machining, as well as we are going to talk about the application of plasma arc machining. Thank you for listening the video. If you have liked the video, then please subscribe it, like it, and also share the video. And please stay connected so that in the next lecture we can discuss as well as we can cover up the rest of the portion. Thank you very much.